Tuesday, October 7th, market analysis, Stan Ehrlich. Boy, we've got a bunch of sell signals today. This could be it. I know I've said this a couple of times lately, but you're the judge. We'll see what you think. And we got a new stock, AMD, that's in the news, and I'll show you what I think about that. And it may not be what you think. E-mini, micro E-mini, same thing. Bearish engulfing sell signal today, new historic highs. Great position for it. I think it's going to come down at a minimum to about 66 and a quarter, 66.20 something, but probably 635 or so for the hopefully October lows. We got 3 weeks. Next, look at the 1 minute chart. When it starts to turn red is when the outside down day occurs. That's when you get below the low of the previous day. Where's my crosshairs? Good. Yep, on a closing minute basis. Next chart, Spider, basically the same as the E-mini, not quite, because remember, it only trades from 6:30 to 1 o'clock California time. The E-mini trades 23 hours a day. So its price ranges are oftentimes substantially different than the S&P SPY, but a bearish engulfing. Now, in the last approximate 3-4 weeks, the third signal. I put a high rating on these bearish engulfings, and you're going to see more. This is the SPY 1 minute chart, starting to have a major bearish turnaround, beginning, of the bear move. We have another bearish engulfing on the QQQ. There was only one on Friday that didn't work. Here's another one. They are oftentimes clustered like this. I really am even more optimistic in general that we are starting a break. How far down on the Qs? At least 588, 583, 580s. But I really expect something in the neighborhood of 560 down to about 552, and maybe even lower. Would not surprise me. I have an educated guess. Yeah, that's kind of an educated guess that we're going to all of a sudden find some very bad news, and that's going to cause a very big break. Today, we were only down 3 points, 4 points, something in that ballpark for the Spider and the E-mini. Next chart is the 1 minute for the QQQ. Starting to come down. Sell signals, bearish trades, profitable in this case, trailing stops. Lost a little a couple of days ago. Next, another bearish engulfing on the NQ futures contract, the NASDAQ again, second one in 3 days. Divergences, historical levels. I expect to break down to the ballpark of 24,170. But really, I'm looking for something in a ballpark of 23,150. Next, big bearish engulfing. Great. Quite optimistic about this situation. YM didn't get above yesterday's high, came very, very close. That's all it's missing. Otherwise, it would have been a bearish engulfing. Well, actually, I'm sorry. We came extremely close to yesterday's low, 46,693. Today's low, 46,700, only 7 ticks above yesterday's low. So it was a doji with a slightly lower close. Don't care. Overbought condition, divergences. I think the YM is going to come down probably to at least 45,566. And I can't rule out 43,500. 1 minute chart on the YM. Slipping off now for the second day. Yesterday was the first day without a higher high and a lower low than the previous. And today we almost, not quite, had the same thing, but we did have a lower high and a lower close. Next, Russell overbought, major resistance, starting to come down, looking for the same kind of situation, coming down in the ballpark of 2302. Next, Russell, 1 minute, starting to hit the best, starting to come down. Next, bonds. We have an outside up day today, but it did rally to close a very small gap or tick or two, yesterday's down gap. So that's done. The normal bullish engulfing usually does cause a little bit of a rally, which I can accept. If it starts to close above 1761, 1716, yeah, then I'll have to be a little bit more friendly. Notes, same thing. Closed a little tiny gap from yesterday. Outside update today. Maybe it'll rally a little bit more, but both bonds and notes, I am looking for a bit lower than the lows of the last couple of weeks. Nothing horrible, nothing big, no disaster break. Next, crude, bouncing out of now the support area in an oversold condition. I keep telling you, this is one of my favorite combinations. This is starting to work very nicely. Nothing super fast. I like what I see. Probably it's going to rally back up to the resistance area where it just came down from. And that's going to be a 65, 80, and a little higher. Now we're starting to see a little bit more strength in natural gas, but it's still a head and shoulder top that has a downside objective of about 1.5. And that's exactly what I'm looking for. And I started looking for that back when it broke out on June 25th. This is October 7th. So, expecting it to turn down and start to make new lows for the trend, pretty soon, a week or two, without very much more rally. Heating oil, still inside this pennant formation, holding near the support. It might move back up to the resistance line across the tops, the bear trend line across the tops. And that's what pennants do. They bounce back and forth until they finally break out. I'm waiting. Gold, skip that. Another new historical high and overbought conditions for quite a substantial amount of time. This is highly unusual to see overbought conditions for most days, not all of them, for a month. Just pretty rare, very rare. Actually, it's more like 5 weeks. First time it got overbought was actually August 29th, the day before September 1st. Here we are. Yeah, it's been 5 weeks. Anytime now, gold's going to start to hit the dust. Next, platinum. Sorry, silver. Silver. No new high. Overbought. Starting to come down some. I think it's going to come down more. I wouldn't be surprised to see it down to 41.20. 40.40 is another possibility. And maybe even this major support area, 36.90. A little lower high today than yesterday on platinum. It's a doji inside day, closed approximately unchanged. Might be topping out, can't tell yet. I'd love to see another bearish engulfing red ER sell signal. Next, higher high couldn't stay there. A little higher close, not a new high ground. Overbought conditions make me extremely leery about copper. I can't justify too much more strength. I still think it's in the process of topping out, and I do look for it to come down quite a bit, maybe even make new lows for the last couple of months. Soybeans, hanging in there for the last couple of days after a bullish engulfing at the very low day, bottom, very close to support. I'm looking for higher levels. What we really need is it to start to close up at 1065 and higher. That would be a very significant technical bullish situation. Until then, back and forth. Soybean oil. New high close, above previous highs for a couple of weeks. Good. Nice. It bounced out of support in an oversold condition on the low day. Perfect. The combination I like. So, looking for another high. somewhere up here. We're nowhere near overbought, but I hope this bear trend here for the last 2 months of bear move is broken by maybe breaking. Well, I'm going to draw the line. Okay, across this top, the very highest high right there. And that's pretty good. I'll make it across all three in general. Yep. Okay. Uh-oh. Is this a channel? Maybe. Wow. Awful damn close. This bottom line is just a moment. Okay, this is where I want to take it. Wow, yeah, pretty good. Not quite parallel, but that's close enough. We have had, and I didn't see it until now, a downward slanting channel that tested a support level with oversold conditions at the bottom of the channel also. And it's turned up. Now we need to break out of the channel. Next, engulfing price range, closed 2 ticks higher. We might see a bottom here. This could start to rally strongly. I need to close above 282 to get really friendly, and I think it's about to do it. I like what I see here. Low, not too bad. Oversold, divergences, good. Going up, I think. Corn, higher high, but it couldn't stay there. Closed a little lower, but no major reversal. I'm still talking about long-term big bottoms to be made in grains in general. There's a slim chance that this was a shoulder low 5 days ago, four days ago. The bottom of the market has a bullish engulfing ERSignal signal. It's green on almost the exact low day. Not quite, very close. I've drawn in the neckline already. It's downward slanted slightly, very normal. The timing for this was not quite right because from the lowest low on the left of the bottom, that date right there to the bottom of the market, and I'll use the middle here. I'll use between the two little lows. Is that amount of time, and then from that you measure to the right, and we're obviously way late, a couple of weeks worth, so it's lopsided. The low should have been closer to September 15th. Instead it was October. Yeah, 2 weeks late, but still ballpark possibilities. Next chart, we've got wheat. I just can't see it. We're not oversold. We keep making lower highs and lower highs and lower lows and lower lows, even if it's a matter of weeks, a month, 2 months, a few months. We just can't seem to hold on to a bull trend. Got to be neutral to bearish. Pretty darn low. Slowly lower. Apple. Inside day doji. Down a little. Has been overbought. Did have a bass-backwards bullish engulfing, but in overbought condition with a bullish outside up day or bullish engulfing, I tell people that this could be a top day. I'm not proven right yet. It was a doji yesterday and another narrower range day today, doji again. So closing below or above Friday's highest high and lowest low should be an indication of whether it's going to go up a chunk more or we have a top. We've got gaps to close below the market. Don't forget about those. I am looking for a minimum downside move of 241. I just can't be very adamant about the top yet. Next, bearish engulfing at the very top of the market on Tesla. Went down the next day, very nice. Popped back up again yesterday to approximately the middle range of the red bearish engulfing ER sell signal. And that is exactly where ER3 gets short. That's why we have a little red line there. Almost sold the high of the day yesterday. Down nicely, almost $20 today. Closing under yesterday's low. I'm looking for a close below 416.18 to really get the ball started on the downside. Gap to close down at 396.90. And another little gap, don't forget about that one, at 368.80, about 369. That's where I think we're heading. Next, overbought conditions. Looks a little like a bull trap, lasted a couple days. Usually they're one part of a single day and maybe only one full day, not 3 or 4. Still looking like it's going to slip off some more. And now AMC for the first time. We had a bearish engulfing AMD. That's the chip people. We made an announcement they're coming out with something new, great, faster, smaller, cheaper, cooler, all the good stuff. More threads, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know the fundamentals on that, just that they came out with good news. I have to mention that we went from a high a couple of days ago of 170 and change to a high the next day on a huge gap up of 226. I don't know what's going on with my Ninja Trader here. So, gaps are almost always closed. I am expecting, it might take a while. It's a pretty big gap at 170, move back down to 170 and a half. There is also evidence that it's doing exactly the same thing now, starting yesterday. The high yesterday was just a very, very small amount under the exact high way back on March 8th of last year, a year and a half ago. So that is a broad double top, which I really doubt sincerely, because you would have to go negative if this went below the low between the two highs. That was down at 80 bucks. And that would drive it into negative ground. Not going to happen. So we'll look at other reasons to get bearish and down to what? Well, in my opinion, at least to 187, but that doesn't even close the gap. I'm really looking for 170, and I wouldn't be surprised if it came down a little bit more. Look what happened, by the way, with a rally high on August 13th. It came up extremely close to the high that was made on July 10th. It's the same sort of historical resistance situation. It topped out August 13th and dropped off for a few weeks. We could do the same thing here. Back to the mini. You guys have a great day and profitable trading to you.